Hey everybody, I want to talk about the shift. And the shift from when you no longer hear from your son or daughter again. And I'm just talking about parental estrangement. I'm not necessarily talking about runaways, although it could fit into the same category. And sometimes we think, my gosh, they just walked out of my life. And we're left baffled. And I was baffled too. And it's been over a decade in the making for me, trying to wrap my head around this situation. And I realized the shift didn't happen when your son or daughter ceased communicating with you. And that shift began years ago. They believed through the powers that be, the other influences in their life, that your value in their life was lessened. Someone planted a seed in them that said, your mom is replaceable. She might have given birth to you, but you don't need her in your life. I don't know who did it, or if it came through television or social media, but it was an influence. It might have been an influence in your home. Does it happen in divorce? Sometimes yes. Does it happen within family structures? Sometimes yes. But instead of pointing fingers at the external, especially when our sons and daughters are adults, we have to point the fingers back at them and say, this is your choice. Your behavior is your responsibility. You can't blame your dad or my sister or your grandparent or your friends. No, you are the one that's going to be held accountable for your actions. And even if we're not going to sit in a courtroom and we are going to be judged by a jury of our peers, each one of us plays a role. I accept responsibility for the fact that I was not perfect, that I could have done things different. And had we sat down and talked, we could have dug a little deeper, and you could have asked me questions about, Mom, why do you X, Y, and Z? And I can tell you either that's how I was raised, or due to a certain trauma, I react different than other parents. And sometimes I'm nicer and sometimes I'm not. And if you don't feel safe talking with me, or you think I'm going to overreact or cry or beg or plead, you can get someone else to kind of sit down with us, someone else that can mediate, whether it's a therapist or, your friend's mom or something, someone that impartial. And so when we want to blame other people for our children's behaviors and the fact they cut contact, there is no one else to blame. If your children are of sound mind like mine, it falls on their shoulders. So anyways, it is raining. I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope you have a great day.